What is going on, guys? It's your boy Big Dylan and welcome back to another Destiny What to Use in Weekly Heroic Strike guide. This is February the 7th to the 13th, so let's see what the modifiers are this week. We have Heroic, Solar Burn, Berserk and Brawler. So the two good ones this week are going to be Brawler and Solar Burn. So without further ado, let's get straight into the Warlock and let me break it down for you. So this week you're going to be wanting to use your Sunsinger subclass. I would recommend it going for something like maybe a Solar Flare build with the Sunbreakers. There is another build that you could also go for. You're going to want to be making sure, try and use the Viking Funeral Touch of Flame so you can get that extra damage in there for you and your teammates. It's super effective. Flame Shield on there and Radiant Skin for extra damage resistance. The other build that you could run if you don't want to use the Solar Flares with Sunbreakers, put a normal pair of Legendary Gauntlets on, slap the Starfire Protocol on, go to your grenades, put Fusion Nades on, and there you have a very good DPS build for your Warlock. Super effective. I usually like to use this when I'm in a team of 3. If I'm running it with a couple of buddies of mine, if I'm running a 3-man, this is the build I would usually use. For weapons this week, primaries, you can pretty much use anything you want. Don't use anything that's arc or void. Try and prioritize. I like to go for something like a hand cannon or a scout rifle just because they hit very hard. And they're super effective at long ranges. For special, again, you can pretty much use anything this week, but make sure you are using something with the solar modifier on it. So for example, I've got a solar shotgun here. You could use a sniper, a fusion, a sidearm, whatever you want. Just make sure you are using something with solar on. Same thing goes for heavy also. So just again, make sure you are using something with the solar burn modifier. Don't go using a Thunderlord because you're not going to get as much benefit out of it as possible. Try and make sure you are using something with the solar burn modifier. That's pretty much it for the Warlocks. So getting on to the Hunters now, guys. There is a couple of different options if you are playing a Hunter. There is the Golden Gun. Now if you're going to be running Golden Gun, I would recommend using the Celestial Nighthawk. If you're going to be using the Celestial Nighthawk, make sure you have Deadeye on there as well so you can get even more damage in your Golden Gun shot. This build prioritizes on getting huge amounts of damage into the boss, and also killing major targets very quickly. Now again, if you want any of these build guides, guys, just look on my channel. There'll be plenty of build guides for the Warlock, Titan and Hunter. There's plenty out there. Just search my channel and hopefully you will find them. But this one, makes use out of the Keyhole, Gambler's Dagger, and Knife Juggler, I think it is. Now, if you don't want to use Golden Gun, you could actually go ahead and still use your Tether, as it is still a very good subclass, for team shotting damage. Another build that you could use is the 4-shot Golden Gun helmet, if you want to put combustion on your Golden Gun as well, and just be more of an ag clearer. But that's pretty much going to be it for the Hunter. So last but not least, guys, we're going to be getting into the Titan. The subclass you're going to be using this week is Sunbreaker. Now don't get me wrong, you could use Defender if you want to take advantage of Weapons of Light, but I wouldn't really recommend it as you're losing out on a huge damage portion on your Sunbreaker Titan. There's a couple of build choices that you could go with here. If you want to actually go for a bit more of a melting point build, you could actually slap the insurmountable Skullfort helmet on, which gives you an extra melee charge. Very effective if you are running a 3-man team in strikes. Another build you could also run is the Sun Charge, I think it is, where you actually shoulder charge in your Sunbreaker super. Now with Brawler being a modifier this week, you're actually if you use the Sun Charge, you're actually gonna be getting a huge amount of damage off with the Brawler and Solar Burn being on together. So there's a couple of choices that you could go for here. But anyway, guys, hopefully this gives you an idea on what to use this week. Thank you so much for watching if you made it this far. Make sure you're using weapons with Solar Burn on them, and peace.